Okay, so Claire, she's just turned 17. She's been my daughter all of those years. Um, you can't tell her that she can't do something, she's always up for a challenge. She's always willing to get her hands dirty. She's kind of a real go-getter. She loves getting out. She loves riding her horses. She loves riding her horses with her grandma. She loves coming out to roping, showing all the guys how to do it. Yeah, she's up for a challenge, and she can do just about anything she puts her mind to. So old Gus, he was born in my parents' place out of my mom's mare about 15 years ago, and he was kind of the first horse Claire really started riding. Him and her little mini pony there, Princess, and she'll jump on him any time of the day, any time of the night, and those two, they'll cover a lot of ground, and it's kind of her, if she's having a rough day, she's gonna jump on her horse, and she's gonna be gone for a couple of hours, and she'll come back, and kind of helps her work through all the struggles of teenage life, I guess. Okay, so it was Saturday, September 18th. Claire had loaded up her saddle in the vehicle, and she headed out about 8:30 in the morning to go. Her and her grandma were gonna go ride up in the castle area. On the way, she kind of lost control of the vehicle on some loose gravel and ended up rolling the vehicle, and she was ejected from the vehicle. And
on September 18th, I had been working out in Mountain View, doing some rock work with Janisco's, and one Saturday morning, I'm driving out there, and just an average morning, and all of a sudden I came across, on the road there was a bunch of debris there, and I was just kind of surprised and looking at this debris, and then I happened to see a car off into the field quite a ways. And I looked at the car and didn't really see anybody there. And for some reason, I just thought, somebody had an accident last night and the car's still there. And, so really didn't think anything of it and just kept going because I had to get to work. And I just went just a little ways farther up the road, and I just had an absolutely distinct impression that you got to go back. And I didn't even question that at all for some reason. I just and I turned around and went back, and I was surprised that Claire was laying there right basically on the road. She was in the ditch, but right beside the road. The ditch was flat, and so I could see her plain as day, and I do not know how I did not see her the first time when I drove by her. I didn't know who it was at first. I just saw that there was somebody there, and in fact when I first saw her, I thought, well, there's a body, somebody is laying there dead from this accident. And so as I drove up to her, though, it was apparent that she was alive because she was face down, but she raised her hand like she was trying to flag somebody down. And so I obviously stopped and talked with her, and I still didn't know who it was. She was laying face down, her hair was kind of matted over her face, so I couldn't see who it was, and I was just trying to keep her comfortable, and I called 911 right away, and so I'm talking to them while I'm talking to her, and then ultimately I asked what her name was, and she said she was Claire Primrose, and first thing was just, are you kidding me, Claire? Are you okay? Like, it just broke my heart, because now I knew, it was a scary situation to begin with anybody there, but once I knew it was, a student that I had in my class, it just really broke my heart. And so I stayed with her by the road for half an hour until the ambulance came and helped get her loaded up, and she was just fairly adamant that made sure that I called her father, Nate, and so I gave him a call. And
he didn't really lead into the conversation. He just said, this is Jeff Strang. Did anybody call you about Claire? And first thing I thought was, why is the school calling me on a Saturday? What did she do? And then he told me that she'd been in an accident, and I mean, I don't even know how to describe that feeling. The list of her injuries wasn't short. She punctured a lung. She broke 10 ribs, her right shoulder blade, some small fractures on her spine. She broke her pelvis in 6 places. Also broke her hip socket on her left hip, and her right femur was a compound fracture there, and her left tibial plateau. So she did quite the number on herself, but luckily her neck and her spine, her arms and her head came out unscathed. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but went to meet her at the ambulance before they hit the highway. So luckily we got to see her and tell her we were there before they took off. So I think that helped us, and it helped her. I guess right from the get-go, all the doctors, everybody was very optimistic that she was going to make a good recovery, but it was going to be a long uphill battle. So she spent 5 days, I guess, in the ICU at Foothills, and waiting for her body to recover enough that they could go in and do the surgeries to kind of bolt her back together. So they sent us over to the children's ICU. She spent another 8 days there, kind of just recovering. Her lungs, with all the broken ribs and the collapsed lung, it was a long time before they could kind of wean her off of the oxygen support and certain medications that were keeping her in the ICU. And she had some great nurses that kept her spirits high. It was pretty amazing. I mean, she had her lows, but for the most part, everything was looking up, looking forward. It's pretty amazing. It blew my mind how she stayed in such high spirits. She was able to start weight bearing about 3 weeks ahead of schedule, which definitely helped her spirits. She started working on standing and stepping, and the first time she was standing, the first few steps she took, you could see the smile was coming off of her face. She was so excited. When she got to the point where me and her mom could just look after her, they sent us over to the Ronald McDonald House so that we could all be together instead of sleeping on a bench apart from each other, and that was pretty amazing, getting us kind of back to being somewhat of a family unit again. Joel, good friend, called me, and he said it was eating him up. He's like I'm trying to figure out what I can do. I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. And he says I have this idea. He says, you can tell me I'm crazy if you want to, but he had this idea of bringing a trailer full of horses up to see Claire and surprise her. And I said, Joel, you are crazy, but I think that's a good idea.
And we're off, heading up to Calgary, going up to surprise Claire. We're bringing a trailer full of horses. She's been in the hospital for a couple months now, just got let out into the Ronald McDonald House, and they plan on keeping her there until pretty close to Christmas. It's blowing about 100 kilometers per hour, so fingers crossed it's not like this in Calgary, but should be a good day. We're excited to see her reaction. But yeah, 3-hour drive from here now. Just got to Calgary, to the Ronald McDonald House here. Just planning how we're gonna surprise her. She's gonna be coming out of the building over there. This here is old Gus. Claire's been riding him since she was a little wee girl. She'll be pretty excited to see him, I think. Claire's favorite brother. Claire's biggest concern through this whole thing was
being able to get on this guy here again. So that's the big goal through all of the physio.
So that right there, that's the front where she'll come out. So I think we'll go over around the edge so we can ride around to her.
I'll let Joel go in the front.
I think we let
Shade.
Gus, Shade and Gus go in the front. We got the thumbs up. Well, we just got around the corner here, and I think the thumbs up saying, or replying to me was saying that they would text me when they were ready because they weren't out. So we're just hiding around the corner here.
This isn't happening.
Well, how are you? Were you surprised?
Very much.
What did you think of it?
I was very happy to see this.
I've told her this whole journey that, you know, it's, you know, I can't tell her how much I love her. And she's been blowing my mind. I've been so proud of how she's handled herself through this. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like being on the other side. Just the way she's handled herself. I mean, you've been amazing. It's been hard, but I mean, you know, we'd do anything for you.
I mean, for me, it left a huge impression. I mean, I just constantly think about the whole event because it just has really left an impression on my mind of what happened to me driving by that day, and just that impression that I had to go back, and I'm just glad I listened to that.
Claire, keep up the good work. It was a fun day coming up there, and I'm glad you were able to enjoy it too. I'm excited for the day when you can join us Ranch Roping again. Now this is my invitation to everyone who's watching. Please join us and help Claire getting back to that ranch roping, the saddle, to living life the way she used to. Click the link in the description here and go to the GoFundMe page made for her, and let's help her out. Do it for Claire.